Alright, how's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to the Old Farts Garage. And today, as a part 3 on the fender repair, I'm going to go ahead and sand all the old paint, and scrape it down, clean all the rust as best I can. I know there's a lot of tight spots on it where I'm not going to get in there with a wire brush or sander and stuff like that. So we've obviously got to do it by hand in some spots. Also, too, I hate when the wire brush or the sander grabs and it pulls away from you and everything. That's not good. That's not safe. But we'll go ahead and clean it up. Throw it once I get all the majority of the rust off of it that I can. Spray some rust killer or promoter or whatever you want to call it. Uh, get it all put back together. Spray some underliner, some some coating, some bed liner, underliner, undercoating, whatever you want to call it, that kind of stuff. ah, yeah. And basically clean it up and paint it. Heck, what else we got going on? Really, huh? Anyways, like I said, today we're just gonna go ahead and address all the rust and all the old paint and everything, and see what we got underneath there. I honestly don't have to. I mean, depending on what you're doing and all that, you really don't have to sand the old stuff off all the way. I guess it was 120 or something, just scuff up the top and everything, but it's my choice. I see a lot of rust. I want to see how far down it's going to go and how clean the rest of the metal is going to be. So, anyways, oh man, my back. Anyways, let's go ahead and get all our stuff together. And, again, thanks for coming and watching this along. Yeah, that sucked. Let's just get to it, okay? Let's get clean into that fender. Okay, everybody, there it is. So, wire brush, 80 grit sandpaper. Tried to clean it up as best I could. Okay, yeah, I know I didn't have to go to bare metal, but that's just my um, That was my choice. Okay, and we did find some body filler, apparently from a previous fix from right there. The little stuff right here I got to do by hand, you know, because I don't like putting machines in there because they catch and they can fly out of your hand and stuff. I'd rather do that by hand. Okay, so I hit it, after I hit it with the wire, I went ahead and hit it with the 80 grit. Okay, so again, I'll be doing all this by hand. Pretty much knocked it all out. Towards the front, found some more body filler. Again, from most likely a previous, well, obviously a previous work. Got to pull these two little dents out of here. Okay, this part right here, do it by hand. All right, because that's too small and tight of a spot to do with the machine. Finish it off there. Pull that dent right there. All right, it's got it all cleaned up. There. There's a couple of spots, like right here. I got to straighten that out. You can see how it's kind of dented in and everything. All right. And then we got my lousy, my horrible looking Frankenstein welding right there. No biggie. I'm just going to put some body filler in it and fill it up. These little holes right here, just some fiberglass filler, Duraglass they call it. Okay, so and again, that right there I'm just going to do by hand. Let's just get the rust out of there. Let's flip this over. Okay, cleaned it up. Again, there's my Frankenstein welding. This is very pitted up right here. I didn't want to do any more because I know that it'll just go right through it. So I'm going to fill that in with some Duraglass. Okay. Again, clean this up by hand right here. But I got the majority of the rust out of there. I'm going to be painting it. Throw some rust promoter on it. And then all this is going to be undercoated. All right. I got some bed liner undercoating stuff deep in there. I got to get in there by hand because it's too tight to get in there with the machine. No biggie. A couple of sandpapers and scrapers right there. But pretty much that's it for that. Now that once I get it all, you know, rust promoted and all that here, gets cleaned up. Maybe, like I said, do a thin layer of body filler and stuff. Then I can start putting that piece back on. And once I get that piece back on, I'll go ahead and spray it with some bed liner, some undercoating. So there it is. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is part 3. Thanks for watching. Thank you for the likes and the comments. Glad to be back. Feels good getting this truck back into the way it should look. So y'all have a nice rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. God bless.